Hey guys, Instructor Noah here today with a RIT Basics / refresher lesson. This video is designed to either be a one-off video so people can learn about tactics, or, like for my department, attached to a practical training session. This is part one of a two-part RIT series we're doing that's going to teach general or basic rules for RIT in this video, and then in the next video some more advanced tactics. The more advanced RIT training will be posted at a later date, talking more specifically about things like Denver drills, firefighter through the floor rescues, window and ladder bails. So you may be wondering why we're putting so much emphasis on this topic. We need to be proficient with our skills, especially when it comes to RIT, where it could possibly be life or death for a fellow firefighter. For Hull specifically, we are the smallest department in the Metro Fire District. We are often assigned to RIT when we go into Stevens Point and Plover. Metro, for those who don't know, is a fire district in central Wisconsin that is comprised of 3 separate departments. For Hull, if you're not going to be at the RIT training next meeting, you need to schedule time to meet with either myself or your field training officer to mark you off on skills. Until you're marked off on skills, you will not be able to respond to any Metro calls. So make sure you guys are getting on top of this, getting signed off. Learning objectives. There are 3 that we'll go over at the RIT refresher training. First, firefighters will do a 360 walk around of the structure to identify risks and hazards. Firefighters will report findings to the RIT officer. Firefighters will then soften the structure. Second, firefighters will perform a rapid search for the downed firefighter. Once the RIT team locates the downed firefighter, they will identify the cause for the mayday. The RIT team will perform a mask change if needed. They will package the patient and extricate. Third, firefighters will perform CPR on downed firefighter in full PPE. Firefighters will doff the victim's gear while continuing CPR, minimizing time off compressions for less than 10 seconds. For the next couple slides, I put our departmental policy on RIT. Pause the video if you are interested in seeing our policy if you're not on our department. For our department members, it should be emailed to you guys to review, so we won't go over it in this video. Essentially, the policy talks about response roles of each member and a few general rules for RIT. Look it over. If you have any questions, talk to your field training officer or leave a comment below. All right, RIT setup. Ideally, the RIT team should be in contact with the assigned RIT chief or RIT officer, or whoever is on scene. They should tell you where to park, set up, immediate needs, etc. Roles should be established before you arrived. Who's the team leader, first man, second man, so on. Once you arrive on scene, the team should grab the RIT pack, which looks exactly like the picture on the left. Some hand tools, taglines, and a tick. They'll meet with the assigned RIT officer and then do a 360 to identify hazards. While that RIT team is doing that 360, the MPO of the RIT truck should be grabbing the rest of the gear, saws, ropes, tarps, and for us, we load it onto a Stokes basket, like on this picture on the right, and then bring it to where the RIT team is setting up. The MPO should also lay out the rest of the gear on a tarp, like in the picture on the left, so the team has easy access to all the gear. The RIT team should have SCBA covers or something to signify that they are RIT. Ours are exactly like the picture in the middle, which tells everyone, hey, I'm RIT, don't ask me to do anything else. Where we set up, we should also be looking for a solid place to attach taglines if we have to go in so we don't get lost. Softening the structure. So once we're set up at the staging area, we need to soften the structure. Softening the structure is a term we use to reduce hazards on the fireground. The picture on the right is a perfect example of what our end goal should be. As many ladders as possible should be used so members, if needed, can bail out windows, which we'll go over window bailouts in the advanced portion next video. Personally, there's been times where we've taken every ladder off of Plover's truck, Stevens Point's vehicles, and of course our apparatus. That's okay and encouraged. I'd rather see a ladder under every window than no ladders at all. In that picture on the right, I like to use it as well because it shows a hazard that we should identify as the RIT team. In that middle window on the second story, it looks like there's a window AC unit. If that window breaks, that AC unit can land on someone below. So that's something we need to identify. The left and middle picture go together. At night, we need to be adequately lighting on scene. If you find that there's a pool, put a light on it so everyone knows, hey, there's a hazard here. We also need to be unlocking doors to allow easy egress. The exception for that is if it's going to add a flow path, that's negatively going to affect fire condition. If you're not sure, ask the RIT chief or operations or whoever. Mayday. So when a mayday is called, ideally they should be using the lunar acronym. The RIT officer, operations, and the RIT team should have a brief meeting to determine the best location to enter. So you guys are aware, in a mayday scenario, all fireground operations switch to a secondary channel. Only the RIT team and the down firefighter stay on the original channel. When it comes to search, a RIT search should be very fast. It's not low and slow like we're used to on the fireground. We're moving with a purpose until we can't no more due to fire conditions. Once we get to the down firefighter, we need to determine why they called a mayday. Is it a medical issue? Cardiac arrest is the #1 killer of firefighters. Do they have a diabetic issue? Was there some sort of structural collapse? For structure fires where there's drop-down ceilings, the picture on the left is not uncommon. Did they get entangled? In the middle, if anyone hasn't seen it, I'll show them at the next practical portion. I've been on a fire where masks have melted like this. This is where we're going to be doing our mask change. So the mask swap. This is at minimum a 2-person job. The first firefighter sits with the down firefighter's SCBA bottle between their legs. They need to turn the existing mask open, the existing mask purge valve open. That person's job is to loosen all the straps on their masks while holding a seal, as well as taking off the helmet. The second firefighter gets the replacement mask ready, and then in one fluid motion, they replace the mask and secure it with the purge valve open on the new mask. In these next 2 slides, we'll be watching some practical videos I made to learn how to package and drag the patient. Okay guys, so we're going to go over how to do the halo harness. This technique is going to be mainly for people without air packs. You can do a modified halo harness with firefighters who are wearing air packs. But this is my preferred method to extricating victims, and I'll show you why in a little bit. So first thing we're going to do is, we'll have our webbing here, our tubular webbing. Typically I like to pack it in a daisy chain. So we'll remove this. It's nice, easy to deploy. So the reason they call it a halo is because it goes in a halo around his body to start with. So once it's completely around his body, it'll go under his legs, like so, all the way up to the groin. The other parts will come up under his arms, like
like that. And then the part that's between his legs will go under and through like so. And then if you have a carabiner, just like that. And so now you have easy harness to drag with. So now that we have a finished halo harness, I'll show you why I like this method to extricating victims so much. So the gear I carry a personal bailout gear, but if we're doing this for a RIT scenario, we're going to be carrying our tag lines with us. So one thing you can do is use mechanical advantage. So everyone should be carrying a tag line. One thing you can do is you can just take this carabiner, run it right through, and attach it back on your belt. So now we have mechanical advantage, a 2-to-1 system. So that cuts the weight that we're dragging down in half. You can do a 3-to-1 system or etc. to make this even easier. But in those scenarios where you need to get back even out of the structure, you can extend this as long as you need. So you can be completely out of harm's way while you're extricating the victim. See how easy that is? You can even turn this technique into a 3-to-1 system, make it even easier on yourself with one extra carabiner. So all I did here was I connected the initial one to the harness, looped it back around the carabiner, through the harness again, and now look how easy that is. Barely pulling barely at all, and he's moving. Alright guys, so now I want to demonstrate how to do an SCBA drag, as well as how we can do a modified harness drag with their SCBA. So first thing we're going to do for both is we're going to convert this into a sort of harness. So we're going to take the down firefighter's leg strap, undo it, and we want it to go around one of their legs. Now, our dummy here is not the most lifelike, but I promise you, on 99% of firefighters, you'll be able to convert his SCBA into a sort of harness. So once we put that around the leg, that locks that torso so it won't slip off. Now, simply all we're going to do is, if I'm on this side, I'm going to take my opposite hand and reach to the opposite side of his pack. And now I can either drag him like so, or I can stand and walk with him. That was the SCBA drag. So now I'm going to show you how we can use that SCBA and turn it into kind of a modified harness drag. So if you want to come over here, simply put, if you have a tagline for RIT, if you have your personal bailout gear, or if you're just carrying rope for whatever reason, all you have to do is put that rope right behind that base of the SCBA, and that works as a harness. So now I can get back out of the structure wherever I need to be out of the hazardous environment, and I can drag. I can also use mechanical advantage, like we mentioned previously.
Alright, now that we watched those videos on how to package and drag the patient, we'll move on to firefighter CPR. Before we do that, I just want to mention we didn't show any dirty drags, just kind of grabbing the air pack and going, or doing a armbar drag or a leg lock drag. Those are all recommended to do first before you move on to more complicated packaging methods. The reason I didn't put them in this video is because they're well practiced on. Everyone should know how to do them. They're very simple. So moving on, firefighter CPR. For firefighter CPR, once the down firefighter is out of the structure, one firefighter is going to sit with their SCBA between their legs, just like in the mask change example. This person This gives the person doing CPR a nice, firm, flat surface to do compressions. The firefighter by their head will loosen and remove as much gear as they can reach. The third person will assist in removing and loosening the coat. In one fluid motion, they slide the firefighter down, which removes their coat and SCBA, and then CPR is normal after that. We will practice all these skills during the practical portion, so I know there's no video to go along with this. That's more for the practical portion. This is where the video ends. If you're not on our department, I hope you learned something. Feel free to comment with a question or if I should add anything in the future. For our department, again, if you're not going to be at the practical portion, you need to have a FTO sign you off on the skills in order to be able to respond to Metro. If you have any questions, feel free to shoot me an email or text. And thanks again, guys.